and welcome back to today's daily edition of Beech Student Network. I'm Madison Allen.
And I'm Kevin Constant. Today we'll be
Chris
taking a
looks
look
so
at Johnny's
gay.
game review, Chicago recap, and as always, sports. Let's take a look at this week's weather.
Today the weather is sunny with a high of 67 and a low of 43. Tuesday is cloudy with a high of 62 and a low of 46.
It's just too much effort now.
Wednesday we will have a high of 64 and a low of 50. Thursday the rain comes in with a high of 63 and a low of 37. Friday is partly cloudy with a high of 50 and a
BGSM
low
when
of 30.
like the teacher's
Enjoy
having
the
a hangover and just
Enjoy the
doesn't
warmer
want to do
weather
stuff.
hornets.
Yeah, but it's constantly that.
We are back with your week's Johnny game review.
I think
Play
I heard
package?
this up.
4 minutes of the game.
4 minutes 15 seconds. 4 minutes 15 seconds. All right, time for
How's it going,
the-
guys?
the-
I'm
the
your
daily
handsome host,
fucking
Johnny here,
nap.
and today I have a Far Cry 6 review. So if
I
you're
thought I
cool
was
with
gonna
that,
say
if you're
Fall
down
Guys,
with
I was
that,
like,
let's
what?
get right into the game. So, Far Cry 6 is the
cares?
newest
They never released one on
installment
Xbox,
in
no one
Ubisoft's
cares.
roster, and honestly, it's been getting some mixed reviews. Some
Bro, I
people
wanna know
say
what
it's
that
good,
cop was thinking.
and on the other
packed a lot
hand,
more
people are
on
saying
the
it's bad.
Shield.
On
So
Xbox,
here
but
I'm going to give you my review and some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like so much, and my overall rating for the game. So, some things that I liked. I liked its concepts, and by that I mean the ideas that it had and the ideas it was going for. Like, one of the coolest things in the game is the Supremo. What is a Supremo? Well, it's basically something that goes on your back and it can give you some aid in any type of way. This aid could be missiles coming out, which blow up enemy vehicles like tanks or boats. This aid could also be meds. If you're in a tight situation and you can't so much med up, then it can cause you to heal up instantly. Or it can just cause a simple EMP, which will break down cars and enemy vehicles and stop them from causing any damage to you. Another thing I thought was cool is the revolution aspect of the game, that you kind of doing stuff for the Libertad or the Liberated.
Also, they can hear.
Honestly, I think that was really cool, but I think it kind of got executed a little poorly. It could have been a little better. And the main antagonist, Anton Castillo, he feels like he's not doing enough to stop you in some points. Taking down like enemy bases feels unrewarding because there is either little enemies there or it's really just not that fun to do in the game, in my opinion at least. But another good aspect of the game is the movement. Honestly, I think the movement is better than it has been in any of the Far Cry games because it's really a smooth-paced kind of game. And honestly, you can't just run around the whole map like in previous Far Cry games, which is a thing that I like, is the map is huge in this game. The map is so big that cars are actually needed to get around. In previous Far Cry games, I would really just walk to objectives and do all that stuff. But in this game, it's kind of harder to walk to objectives when the objective is so far and it'll take you so long, and the protagonist actually runs out of breath this time. Another cool mechanic of the game that I liked is that the cars, you can actually call for cars, and they're actually useful in this game because if you go to the back of them, they can give you ammo and refill your supplies like Molotovs and grenades. That's a really cool mechanic because in previous games, the car was kind of useless, but in this game, it feels like the car is needed, and it's pretty cool. Another cool mechanic is that while you're in the car, if you have the music on, Danny will actually sing to the music. I feel like that brings the game to life, and it really just makes it that much more great. Now, what is bad about the game? Really? There's not too many bad things about the game, but one thing that I didn't like is that it was too overhyped. The commercials and trailers for the game made it seem like it was going to be way better than what we actually got, which is something that I really hated because Far Cry is one of my favorite series, and it made it feel like it wasn't really that anticipated. So for that, I feel like the game kind of lost a little bit because it wasn't really what I expected it to be. I don't think it was really what anybody expected it to be. And I feel like they could have done so much more with the game. But my rating for this game would have to be a 7. I enjoyed a lot of the mechanics in the game, but there really wasn't too much things that are new that I really caught my eye. But with that, my time's up, so back to you guys at the desk.
Beech Grove Drama Department has officially wrapped its production of Chicago. It has been widely regarded as one of the best shows they have ever put up. Thank you, everyone who attended. They couldn't have done it without you. Go down.
If you want your schedule changed, if you want to change your schedule, Miss Matthews has more on this.
Let's toss it over to Chris for sports.
No.
No. Not yet. Slow down.
Kevin, you don't
This
say
semester
that.
is coming to our second semester is right at our feet. It may seem like it's far away, but it will come fast, and if you're looking for a schedule change, now is the time to request. Counselors will consider all requests, but not all changes will be made. Here's Miss Matthews with more on schedule changes.
So just this morning I sent out an email that had a Google form in it for students who would like to request a schedule change. We're not sure how many schedule changes we're actually going to be able to make based on the classes that we're offering this year. Because of the way graduation pathways work now, most of the classes that we have are year-long classes. So it doesn't make sense for somebody to try to jump into, let's say, the second semester of Intro to Engineering Design if they've missed the first half. So I don't know how many times a student's going to be able to switch classes. We counselors and Mr. Carr and Ms. Mara will certainly consider every schedule change request, but we may not be able to make all of them. In some cases, teacher and parent input might be something that we need, depending on what the request is. So definitely use that Google form. If you don't see it in your email, it's also in like the homepage of the I Succeed course in Canvas. And then definitely ask your counselor if you have any questions.
To meet the schedule change criteria, you must fit into one of the following: failed prerequisite, missing a block, already passed the course, medical, missing a graduation requirement, and a financial hardship. If you are in need of a change, please go complete the form in your email. Thank you. This has been Anna Marie Passianos from BGSN.
Let's toss it over to Chris for sports.
As this semester is coming to
Good morning, Hornets, and welcome back to sports. In Beech Grove sports, the girls basketball team lost to Covenant Christian 25-29 on Saturday. They will look to rebound against Cascade on the road tomorrow at 7:30. The girls JV basketball team will also be in action at Cascade tomorrow. Also in Beech Grove sports, the wrestling team will be hosting a scrimmage match between themselves on Friday at 6:30. In NFL news, the Chiefs took down the Packers 13-7. The Chargers beat the Eagles 27-24. The Cardinals defeated the 49ers 31-17. The Giants took down the Ravens 23-16. The Jaguars beat the Bills 9-6, and the Titans took down the Rams 28-16 on Sunday night. Also in NFL news, the Bears will travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers tonight on Monday Night Football. In NBA news, the Cavs beat the Knicks 126-109. The Thunder took down the Spurs 99-94. The Warriors defeated the Rockets 120-107. The Wizards beat the Bucks 101-94, and the Pacers took down the Kings 94-91. Speaking of the Pacers, here's Jason with more on how our Indiana basketball team is doing.
The Pacers are now 11 games into their season, and they currently sit at 4-7. Recently, they have begun to play better basketball in wins over the Spurs, Knicks, and Kings. Their most surprising player has been rookie Chris Duarte, who has come onto the scene here in Indy to boost the team significantly. Those 3 wins came in a 4-game stretch, allowing them to gain some momentum ahead of some harder games that are upcoming. Those games will be against last year's MVP Nikola Jokic and the 5-4 Nuggets in Denver. Then they face last year's 1 seed from the Western Conference and the 7-3 Jazz in Utah. Then they return home to face last year's 1 seed in the Eastern Conference versus the 76ers and Joel Embiid. These upcoming 3 games will show whether the Pacers have what it takes to be a playoff team or not. If they were to lose all 3, they would fall to 4-10 and their season would be looking downward. They will be looking to get back on track after a rough start to their season. That's all from me. This has been Jace Hodge from BGSN Sports.
That's all for sports. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Chris. That's all for Beech Grove Student Network. I'm Madison Allen.
Teachers, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time we go live. I'm Kevin, and have a Minecraft Monday, Hornets.